got a niece, the senator's kid. She's a journalist. She got too close to something down there, and she pissed off the wrong people.
Hey, Frank, Grant from Screen Rant. Good to see you again. How you doing today?
YouTube. Are those DVDs in the background there?
They are indeed. I'm a physical media guy, so I
love it.
Yeah, I have like 3 different shelves, and they keep running out of space.
Well, it's amazing because people don't realize that the quality of stuff we watch, especially at our homes, is not what it could be if you have the hard copy there.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's part of why I love having that so much is just to really get that quality. I'm really stoked to get to chat with you for Long Gone Heroes. I watched it earlier today, and it was just an absolute blast from start to finish.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, it felt so different from so many action war movies we see, in that it's far more introspective and far more character driven. And I'd love to hear what it was about the script and your character that really drew you to want to be a part of it.
Well, it's an interesting journey with this movie. I got my buddy John Swab, who I've made 5 movies with, to direct it and come in and fix the script because it was a little wonky. And we were in Puerto Rico shooting the movie, and then the movie got shut down because of money situation. And we didn't know what was going to happen. And 4 or 5 months later, we got the call that it was back up, only in Colombia. And then we went and we kind of cobbled the movie together. And this is how amazing this guy is as a director. And my buddy Kevin, who edited the movie, who's Joe Carnahan and I's editor, it was a tough road to kind of put the 2 parts together and make it kind of seamless and have it to kind of shift some scenes. And to hear you say you watched it, you dug it, what was it like? You have no idea. It means a whole lot more than the average movie. So that being said, it was an amazing thing once John got his hands on it and fixed the script and we created these characters. It was an amazing thing to then go and shoot this movie because it was so much more than just an extraction movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I love that the action was really saved for the end because it allowed us to really care about these characters and learn more about them. And I love too the rapport that you have with your main core of cast of characters. And I'd love to hear what it was like building that dynamic with everyone, especially since there was such a crazy schedule with the shooting.
Yeah, another great question. I've worked with Bo Knapp and I've worked with George Carroll before, also with John Swab. Josh Hutcherson came in and I think killed it. And it was really great because my job was not to be their friend. My job was to be their captain, the leader, right? And so the other stuff was left to them. And I think they did a great job of some comic relief because it's a heavy movie. It's kind of a heavy movie. They did a great, specifically Bo Knapp and George Carroll. They had a good kind of banter. And Hutchinson came in, and I got to tell you, he's got a place in this action world. I believe everything he does. He's got a vulnerability to him. So it was really fun finding all of that and creating this together and then, pulling off whatever action we needed to pull off. All while half the time not knowing what we were going to do because we were kind of fixing a movie that was in trouble. Do you know what I mean? It's a great story. I wish people who saw the movie knew the story to the movie. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get that story out because I think people are gonna be extra intrigued to see how the movie turned out. And I love to. Last we spoke was for Lights Out, and I love that you get to reunite with Mackay for this, but that you get an outright fight this time instead of being friendly, partners in the last movie. What was it like? I'd love to hear how closely these 2 movies were when they were shot and sort of putting that fight together with Mackay.
Yeah, it was a smaller role, but a pivotal role. And in the first part of the movie that we had to rewrite because it went down, Mackay's role was a little different, a little bit bigger, but I think it was more impactful in the second half of what you're seeing. And it was great doing that fight. It was all me and him. My stuntman, Greg Fitzpatrick, went over the table, but for the most part, it was Mackay and I. And we had such a good fun playing with that. And I think it came out, the fight, again, John and Kevin Hale, who's a super editor, he's cut like 5 of my movies. He fixed the whole movie. And he made that fight fast and furious, and and raw, and I'm happy with it. I mean, I really think it came out great.
It's such a well choreographed fight, and it does feel like every punch is landing. So it's an awesome fight. And so I'd also love to hear about working with Melissa Leo in this film, because so much of there's a lot of animosity between those two characters, and I'd love to hear about exploring that relationship with her, as well as just getting to the heart of it yourself.
Yeah, Melissa and I had worked together on a John Swab movie, Ida Red. I love Melissa. I mean, she's one of the best actors out there. Oscar actress. She's the real deal. And we talked a lot about, again, part of the movie that we shot in Puerto Rico didn't make it on the screen, and we had to kind of finagle the story and why we were there. So some of what you're seeing, again, is cobbled together by John Swab, and we had to kind of fix. And they're going to probably say, "Why'd you have to tell them?" I'm like, because it's an important part. The narrative of how we got the movie made is an important part of the movie. And it was so great then to banter with her. And she's got a vulnerability about her. And she's come to me with this, she's kind of swallowed her pride and come to me with this dilemma about my niece, who I have not seen. So there's a lot of history that we have to get out to the audience without spending too much time doing it. But the way it lands in the film, you kind of understand that this family's been broken apart. And now there's a chance for it to kind of be brought back together if I can save her life. So it's fun movie stuff, right? I mean, it's why we go to the movies.
I couldn't agree more. But I did also want to hear a little more about that family history, because you say, there's just enough there for us to glean what's going on. But do you feel that animosity came because she didn't let your character see his niece after his brother died, or do you think it was there before that even?
No, I think what happens is my brother dies. My brother went down, and look, I'm a special ops guy. I lost my shit a bit, and my brother went down, and I wasn't in a good space, and she didn't want her child around me. Probably a good idea, right? Probably a good idea. I'm a dangerous guy who's, off kilter. And and then once the separation starts, it just kind of builds. And 10 years go by. 10 years is behind. Now she's just I can follow her because she's a senator, but I've not seen my girl. And there's a lot of guilt and there's a lot of shame on my part. And it's tough to kind of get all of that across, but that's what's happening. That was the baseline of our relationship when she comes to me and you see her in my garage.
It's such a great tale of redemption for both of your characters, really, as like you say, she has to swallow her pride. She has to try and take accountability for her actions. And then you have to really help mend this family back together. And I love the way it all comes together.
And there was a version of this movie where at the end, she's got the tape and we're on the river and we don't know what happens. And then John kind of figured, no, that's not good enough. The audience has earned this, and Melissa needs to kind of come clean. So I love the way he pulled that together, and he's such a great filmmaker. He's got a movie with Ben Foster and my buddy James Badge Dale that was just in Venice. It just shot him out of a cannon. And I think he's having meetings right now in LA at CAA and William Morris and Netflix and all the agencies. So you're going to hear a lot about John Swab.
I can't wait to hear more about him and hear more about that movie in particular. I love Ben and I love James, and that just sounds like it's going to be an awesome ride. I see I'm almost out of time, so before I let you go, I did also want to ask really quickly. I love that you are popping up in so much DC stuff coming up, but they're all very different projects. I don't want to get you in trouble, but I'd love to know, can you tell me sort of how the timeline is going to be working out for those 3 different appearances?
I know as far as timeline, Creature Commandos hits in December, and then as far as Superman and Peacemaker, that's out in 2025. They haven't told us anything by design. James Gunn is cutting everything right now. I'm about to go finish the last couple of episodes with James directing on Peacemaker, and that's about as much as I can say. It's all Rick Flag. It's all the same character throughout, which I love. I could not be more appreciative to James and Peter Safran. These guys are running DC now. They've brought me into this fold in a big way, And I think fans are going to be blown away by the mind of James Gunn. He's been let free. And, Guardians is a small thing compared to what this guy has in mind for DC. So stay tuned.
Oh, I will. And I can't wait to see how Rick Flag Sr. does with Peacemaker, especially given what happened between him and his son. So it's going to be a fun time. But in the meantime, I really look forward to getting the word out about Long Gone Heroes, man. Truly, it is such a great movie.
Watch the movie and talking to me about it.
Absolutely. And thank you for taking the time. I greatly appreciate it. I know you're super busy, but thank you. Take care and hope you have a great rest of your week.
You too, brother.
Sorry about that one, G. Look at me. We don't have a lot of time.